this talk was initially going to be by Patrick Svensson, and unfortunately, just before the weekend, he pinged me to say he had to pull out because basically he's staying at a cottage which he turns out has no internet connection. So I thought, well, do we find someone else to do it? Someone else to do a completely different talk? It was a bit short notice, or should I try and do a talk on his awesome library, and his talk was going to be about his Spectre.Console library. I didn't have much time at the weekend, so I can't prepare a talk, but why not just have a session where we play around with it? So I'm going to start Spectre.Console.Out, try a few features, and then I actually want this to be quite interactive. So if anyone has any ideas of things we can try, just shout out and put it in the Zoom chat. I've got the chat window here now, so I can see if people post suggestions or ask questions, or just unmute yourself and shout out. Standard disclaimer: if you do unmute yourself, bear in mind this has been recorded and will be published on YouTube, but feel free anyway. I just wanted to let you know that this will be published. And yeah, so I want to make this as interactive as possible. So this is Patrick's website. So he's got, actually I've clicked on a blog post. This is his website, and it's got all this stuff, and you can see that, and again, I'm using the same tool as Stefan was showing, like with this Zoom it, but he's the author of Cake build system, which is quite a popular, a very popular build system in .NET. But it's going to be this. We're going to be talking about his Spectre.Console library. And actually, if we go to my podcast and the unhandled exception, in fact, before I go to this Patrick's episode, you probably recognize this chap from the last talk, talking about mutation testing, so that's definitely worth listening to. But if we go down here, he came on the podcast, so we were chatting about Spectre.Console. So we went through quite a lot of it and the functionality. So I've kind of had a bit of a, I know what it does, and I had a bit of a play around before the podcast recording. But that's what we'll do is we'll go to the GitHub of his project, and we're going to go to console up and just play around, as I mentioned earlier. So this is the, in fact, let me put this in the chat. So this is the link to it. And one thing I found with this is it's very well documented. And as you'll see, it's so easy to play around. So I've got like table of contents. And what this tool does, it's a library for your console applications, which basically puts it on steroids, and it adds lots of different things. So in this screenshot, we can see there's like tables and trees. We've got like different colors and styles. You can see like down here, like pretty exceptions, lots of different things like tables, grids, bar charts, lots of different stuff we can play with. And all you need to do is install a NuGet package, this Spectre.Console. And there's quite a good documentation page here, which I think let's work from this one. And this has examples of all the different widgets, so like tables and things. And again, this is the same screenshot we saw before. So I'm going to jump up to Rider, and let's just start a new project. So I'm going to do a console application. I don't care what it's called. It's just, we're just going to play around. So I'll leave it just console.1. .NET 5, don't need Docker for this, and then create. So we've got like the standard hello world, which if we, and what I'm going to do actually in Rider, obviously, if I run it, we can see it running in Rider. But when we start adding like all these like funky colors and stuff, the Rider console output, it shows the colors, but it doesn't render it very well. So what I'm going to do instead of doing that is just open up a terminal. So this is before when I open the PowerShell, but if let's just copy that path. Right, so we can run it from there. So if we do, so we've got the hello world there. So let's work from that. And the first thing we need to do is install the NuGet package. So if I install this NuGet package, and this is the same as in Visual Studio, if you go into the NuGet package manager, this is just the rider user interface. So I can just add this NuGet package. And then we can start playing around. So if I go back to here, I don't know what we should try first. Let's do something simple. In fact, let's just do a table. So the nice thing I like about this is, oh, actually I say simple, but that his examples in here are very easy to play around with. So you can just copy his examples. We can bob this into the, oops, bob it into here, and we can just run it. So I'm gonna build it so I can run it from the command line, and then run that again. So you can see the power. We just added the NuGet package, and immediately we've got table support. So let's play around. So I've got a new table, add some columns. So we could, I don't know, change this. Let's add, I'm thinking out loud here. Let's just say name, age, maybe. Let's go with that. Some rows. Let's put my kids in there. So I can say their age, and I'm going to say oh, maybe no, I'll be honest, I'm getting on. And so with this, hopefully, it's super simple to just knock out things like that. So let's just see what else we've got. And I'm just looking at the chat window. Was it a new trend to dump BS and using Rider? I don't think it's a new trend. I think it's just, personally, I like Rider because I've used ReSharper for a very, very long time. So I got dependent on ReSharper functionality. But as most ReSharper users know, it's a bit slow in Visual Studio because ReSharper and Visual Studio at the moment share, Visual Studio and its extensions share the same process space. So it's quite, having Visual Studio and ReSharper sharing the same process space is quite resource heavy, so it slows Visual Studio down. Rider has the ReSharper engine in a different process, so it's much faster as well. And as Dave has just pointed out, it's cross-platform too. So if you're a Mac user or Linux user, I think, I don't know, and then you can use Rider. And it's also very cool. I really like, so I'm going to tangent here, but I really like the shortcuts kind of thing. So like, for example, like here, I can just resize windows. If I've got this window, I can just resize it out. I can like toggle different panes, like testing pane, also I can toggle that. I can collapse them all and bring them all back up again. It's really, if you're a keyboard shortcut fan, it's just amazing to quickly. Git integration is cool. Oh no, see, I've got a thing about Git integration in an IDE because I use like either the command line or I won't open it because this has got basically I've got client stuff bookmarked, so I can't open it to show you. But SmartGit is amazing. It's a paid for one, but it's absolutely amazing. But I just like having a separate Alt tab to switch to another IDE. Any other question? Thunderstorm visualizations in the terminal. Ooh, I like that. I like that. I might try that in a bit. Cool. I think that's all questions or suggestions. Let's try that thunderstorm visualizations then, because one of the things is a canvas image, and you can literally just do this like canvas image, some PNG. So let's copy this chap or chap S and shove that in there. And wait, hang on. Oh, I've got it. Add a new NuGet package. This thing. let's add that. So image sharp. So that is another third-party library, which is very, very popular for manipulating images. So Spectre.Console uses that as a dependency for doing what we're about to do to like manipulate images. So if I just do this, and that's now in. So what we're saying, so thunderstorm visualizations. People images, what we got. It needs to be a PNG, doesn't it? I don't know whether these are. That is not a PNG, but I can save it. So if I save that somewhere, open it up, and I'm just going to move it over here because I don't know what my save as dialog. It might be opening with client work. Let's save that as a PNG and pop that into. Let's show. Sorry, I'm doing this off screen. But okay, so if I've just saved this into a file into into that file. Let's see what happens. So that's not, we've got max width set here, so let's just comment that out. So I've kind of got a bit of a, obviously it pixelates, it's the terminal, but it kind of works. One thing I was going to try, one thing I was going to try is putting the podcast logo on there. You can see, like in the console, it's super easy to add this kind of stuff. And I think there's options to cross manipulate stuff because it's using the image sharp library. We can do various stuff. So this is grayscaling it and rotating it. So let's just copy this. Put this in here. Because it's grayscaled it and it's rotated it. So you can see that a lot obviously is leveraging a lot of the image sharp functionality. So yeah, it's pretty cool. What are the ones? I think oh, it was you, Stuart, before, wasn't it, when we were chatting and you said that you use the TreeViewer a lot?
Yeah, I find that really handy. Yeah.
Let's give that a go. I'm going to try this one. See, I just like to copy and paste things. So that straight away, this is kind of. In fact, let me move that over there, and we just open this up here, so we can actually see them side by side. And so we've got trees. So you can see like the root here, which is kind of like here. Creating two nodes. So like here, this is adding this foo node. Oh, don't know why that snapped to a straight line. Oh, well, never mind. And it's got this markup, which is supported to make it yellow, and you can see it's yellow. And then it looks like it's just dumping in a new table and adding like, I quite like this fluent syntax where it just makes it nice and functional and clean and easy to read. So how can we hack this? Ooh, I know. If I just undo, if I take this, let's see what happens. Let's delete. Instead of the table one, let's try dumping in our image. See what happens. Yeah. So it's just dumped that as part of the TreeViewer, which is pretty cool. Is that a bug around the borders? What's that? Those rounded borders. Was it in? It was in the table or something. Oh, this one. I don't know. I don't know what that does. So if I just run that one. Table rounded borders. I don't know what that does actually. Let me comment that out. And run that again and see if there's any difference. Oh, I didn't want to clear the screen. Hang on. Let's add it back in again then.
I've seen it work, so it might be a font thing, perhaps. That's a bit guesswork there.
Yeah, I can't see any difference, so maybe you're right. Let's have a look. There's any tables?
Yeah, it should like that screen. It should look. Yeah, it should look like the screenshot on the previous page at the top. Yeah.
Ah, gotcha,
I think it depends on your font. Can't be sure.
Gotcha. Oh, that's a shame. That does look quite nice. Is there a value in the method to set the size of the roundedness? I don't know because I can't test it really, but I can look at the if there's any overloads. So no, so that's just taking the actually extension method. So there's no promises in there. It's just so what do people fancy trying out? Because how long I've not actually been timing the talk, so I don't like these. This meant to be half an hour, but there's lots of different things we can try out. So anyone, how does it compare to GUI.cs? I've not heard of this.
So Miguel Duick has a like retro full on.
Have I not heard about this?
Yeah, it's nuts.
That's awesome.
This looks very old school with the styling. So what have we got in here? Sorry, Patrick, we're derailing your awesome library. I'm just looking at this one, but I'll shove this in the chat if people have a look. So John Parkins wants to see a bar graph. Oh no, not there. The zoom thing is in the way, so I can't see which. No, can't see which is my tabs. Oh well. Here we are. Bar graph. Bar chart. So let's grab one of these. These all up. Cool. I do like this fluent syntax where it's just like super compact and but readable. Very link-like. To the Tim's just put in the chat to the bar graph. Cheers. Dave said, I think it's used to power C# and F# interactive. That might be worth looking at. Is that all the notebooks stuff? No, console version. Feel free to unmute, by the way, if that's easier. And Dong has said, what a strange C# as world, all bored and meaningful work, and went back straight to the 80s. Next step, all grab Raspberry Pi Picos as the workstation. I have actually got, not a Pico, but this is, I've had this for years, but I need to boot it up. A Raspberry Pi cluster, which I installed Kubernetes on it like years ago and did the talk on it. And when I got it, I thought I'm going to do so many cool things with this Raspberry Pi cluster, whether it's Kubernetes or whatever. And you know what? It's been sat there unplugged, doing nothing for a long time. Toys, what too many toys. So Dave's trying to find a link, and Dong says must be Pico, ARM, and 0+. As I say, it's kind of like, well, a lot of the stuff I do is in the cloud. So if I need compute, I can just spin something up in the cloud. So I do find, yeah, it's kind of what do. As I say, like these Raspberry Pis have just been sat there not doing anything. We've got one of the podcast episodes we did right near the very start. Was with Pete Gallagher. Oh, ooh, that's a bug. Page 3 has nothing in it. Yowzers. Pete Gallagher, so we're talking about teaching kids to code, and so he was talking about like microbits and all this kind of thing. So I did get some microbits. So my eldest is 7, so we had to play around, and so he was using like Tinkercad and Scratch and stuff and playing around with it. So I think that's where hardware is a good place for me because it gets the kids interested. But for me personally, I'm a big fan of the cloud and just spinning stuff up. Right, back on course. So what have we got? So we've got rule calendar. So we've got a calendar. Let's just shove one of these in. You can see how easy it is just to, and the documentation is just so good. Because we can just literally copy and paste and have something up and, oh, interesting. Maybe that's because I'm using Windows Terminal and I've got it set up functionally. Maybe the font. Let's run that in Rider, see what happens here. No, it's still doing the same. I suspect that is definitely a font issue. Rich said, what about the culture? Let's try. Oh, yes, of course, good point. So did I copy, maybe I didn't copy the very first example. Oh, okay. Good spot. Gareth said it's got to go. Cheers, Gareth. Right, let's try that. Oh, brilliant. Thank you for that spot, Rich. What else have we got? Oh, actually, so one I see as being extremely useful is these prompts. So like multiple selection. So this kind of thing. So if I just grab all of this lot and lob that in here. So in a lot of console applications, I'm guessing that's one or the other. In fact, let's not do it here. Let's do it over here. But see, a lot of console applications, you need some kind of user input, and just to be able to plug this in so simply in this link-like style, saying whether it's required pagination, that's quite interesting. I'll try changing that in a sec, and then to be able to just let people select stuff. That's really cool. So what happens if we make the page size 3? I told you this would be very experimental. So move up and down. Oh, okay, so that's cool.
Another good one. Go on.
No, go ahead, please.
If you just want to like spruce up a console app you already have, like a really nice one is the status, which is on like under live. Like, so where you may go like, you know, processing files ... and then do some processing and afterwards say processing files finished. Like you can turn it into like a little spinner thing. And then another one is like Figlet, just at the start of your console, at the very start of your console, having some like ASCII art type title just gives it a little bit of wow for free.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's do that again. You mentioned Figlet, this one. Nice, I like it. And change the font. How do we change the font? So we've got tab. Presumably it's got to be that kind of Is that Figlet?
Yeah, there's a Figlet website out there. There's like the canonical one that everyone goes to. I can't remember the name. Oh, there it is. And you can just download there's like hundreds of them.
Nice.
Yeah, font database, third link on the top. And there's like, yeah.
I won't download them now, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Actually, progress. This reminds me. So I mentioned in the podcast that, also no, I didn't mention this in this session. I mentioned it in the intro talk tonight that there's an episode 20 which we publish in a couple of days. So that was with Mark Rendell, and we were talking about streaming and those things. And if I just go onto Twitter, find his. What happened then? So he's got a Twitch stream, which is what we're discussing in the show. And at the start, wait for the adverts to go away. How do you get? Oh, we're going to wait 20 seconds. You're kidding me. Try something else. Well, basically what he's done, he's used Spectre.Console as his introduction. So you'll see it in a sec. So the progress bar. 3, 2, 1. Well, maybe. Oh, is he doing a show right now? Is this? Oh, this is live.
He's live.
Oh wow! I meant to go to one of his oldest. Shall we say hello? Right. How do we actually go to his videos? When I've gone to his thing before, he's not been live.
Scroll down. There should be his videos on demand if there are any.
I am not used to. I've not used this before, like Twitch very much at all. So where did you see the videos?
I don't often use it for the website. I thought there was a section underneath for videos on demand, but I think it depends on whether you save them.
Okay, that's a shame, because when I've gone to this before and he's not been live, then I feel like we should say hello. And he's not been live, then it actually shows all the videos and you can click on them. And at the very start, it's probably a bit rude interrupting his stream. And at the very start, he uses the progress one, this one. So he's got like this kind of intro thing, and he's got a whole bunch of things like getting coffee and various other just like random ones he's made up. So like whilst he's waiting for everyone to join, he's just got this sit there like with a pretend progress bar moving forward. So I thought that was quite good. So he's just using this library. I don't know how long I've been, but let's quickly look for something else and then we'll wrap up. Spinners. So we already saw spinners as part of the live one, didn't we? So we've seen spinners, emojis.
Could you do a video by rendering every frame with that image sharp thing?
Someone has just done that on Twitter with animated GIFs. I'll send a tweet. Yeah, they did it this afternoon. Cool. Funny enough.
Brilliant.
Can you send that here and I'll show? Because I was just thinking, have I got time to actually do that quickly in this session? But I probably haven't. If we had like a whole bunch of video, like a whole bunch of frames, an image, like a directory full of images, that probably wouldn't take very long at all. But to actually extract it from a GIF, maybe we don't have time.
You do it with FFmpeg. I can't remember the. No, maybe not.
I can see it's the kind of thing we'll start and then we'll be here all night just trying to get something working. But theoretically, if it's in the same directory, that'd be quite easy. It just depends what the refresh rate is like, but I don't know. Are you finding that?
Yeah.
Almost there. Just here we go. Just going to put it in the chat here.
Oh.
This one. It's part of a thread. But he's using. Yeah, he's using Spectre.Console. If you scroll up to top of the thread. Love it.
Immense.
Whoa. That is so cool. All right, let's give that a retweet. And let's what should we say?
When's the live webcam?
I missed that.
No, I was going to say, when's the live webcam version?
Of a,
Cool.
I can't type and think at the same time. So currently doing a .NET Oxford talk on Spectre.Console right now. Cool. Yeah, so I don't know. Is there anything before we wrap up? Is there anything anyone particularly wanted me to just quickly try out of these? So I've done table, tree, bar chart, rule. I don't know what this is. Okay, so you can align stuff. And calendar was seen within Figure, canvas. Oh, so this is drawing primitives. So let's just copy this. Pardon me. Oh, no, compiler is what we've done. Oh, okay. Didn't copy everything. So that's like super easy to just do rendering stuff. That's quite nice. Canvas image we've already seen. Oh, Spectre.Console CLI. So this is kind of a separate thing. Well, and this is basically lets you, if you've got a console app which takes arguments, it lets you set that up. So if we just go to here, you can basically create a DTO, and you can say like these are the command line arguments that I want passed in, and you can say whether it's optional or required, and you can set descriptions. In fact, let's quickly give this a go. Why not? Let me just add this. What's the worst that can happen? Let's get rid of this. Oops, you get confused. Let's stop that. Come on.
I think it's part of so it used to be Spectre.CLI, and I think he merged it into Spectre.Console, and that's just the namespace now. I could be wrong. But I think it's all like merged in.
Let me just copy this in and see what happens though. Okay, that's returns. It needs to return something that's going to be in and presumably a bit nicer. Right. Okay. Okay, so if we run that one now, so it's done something. Let's look at the code. So that's this. So I think from I've not played with this, but from I use another library called command line parser, which that's what I've used before I even knew this existed, and it does a similar thing. So I was aware of the concept, but I've not really played with this one. But so it looks like you've got your DTO and you inherit from this, and you've got an execute which does stuff. So what I'm going to do is just delete this. And then let's delete this. Name, let's go for that. I don't know what that is, but let's leave that alone. We'll make this optional. I'm assuming that can just be name, I guess.
I don't know if you say like help at the end of the command, if it will document what it has.
Search for required. Getting started. Specifying settings. Required. Oh, so I've got to use angle brackets, so it's required apparently. So let's change that to angle brackets. Cool. So that worked. So now I have to say name, I assume. Oh, but yeah, that's done it, but I'm not doing anything. Execute settings.
I think if you also say name, so console.exe space name or whatever it is, .NET run, yeah, it's not.
That's not done it. Quotes. Oh, it's good in quotes. Bit strange. So that might, I don't know if that's a bug. Patrick, if you're listening, then we might have found a bug. So that works when it's in quotes. But yeah, so you get that. So basically you can create a DTO and have lots of properties, specify whether they're optional or required, and some descriptions and probably some other stuff. I'll have to read through this to find out what we can do. Oh, is this the thing you mentioned about debug? Oh, no, sorry, debug, sorry, ignore me. It's just the name of the flag. Type converters. So there's a bunch of stuff you can do. Validation. Okay, so there's an override to do. What's that overriding? Because that isn't overriding anything. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, that looks pretty cool though. So I think you can choose, like, so I don't think it's one of these things where you can pick and choose. So if you're using like these, it doesn't mean you need to use this, or vice versa if you're using this. So it's very pick and mix. But to be honest, a lot of the stuff in Spectre.Console, I've written a lot of command line tools, just in the past, just internal dev tools just to help out with stuff. And I can't think of one which wouldn't benefit from some of this stuff. So which is, and it's incredible because it's just free and open source to use. Let me check the questions. Pencil, iPad's about to die, so there we go. How much would this puff the code binary? I wouldn't imagine very much, to be honest. If you think about the amount of NuGet packages you add to general console apps anyway, unless you're really fighting for space. How big is if I just go into my user folder and looking, obviously this, so if I put packages and what's the Spectre.Console, so obviously this, oops, this won't give an idea of the actual compiler, but it gives an idea of the size of the NuGet package, I guess. So what with Spectre.Console, oh, what am I doing? I wasn't very good at Quake with the railgun, would I? Completely missing. So it's not like a huge DLL that you're including in. I've just done the same thing. It's merged in, I think, says Tom. I'm not sure what that was referring to, Tom.
That was referring to the package and the namespace being included in, yeah.
Cool. Are you playing along, Tom? I have to go, which says, yeah, the package, says Tom. Yes, I am. So it's being quiet and just typing in the Zoom chat. Right, I think what have we got left? So I think we've covered everything now. Well, this basically looks absolutely amazing. So a huge thank you to Patrick for doing that. So obviously he couldn't be here tonight and he passes on his apologies, but we can't really complain given he's created this amazing library, which we can use for free, which is very cool. If we look on his site, actually, I did see, so he's got this, like what I do, sponsored me on GitHub. And then so again, he's done Cake and a few different other libraries. So if he, and he's got GitHub's added this, I think it was last year, concept of GitHub sponsorship. So you've got like different tiers. Yeah, so thank you, everyone. Any questions before we wrap up and move on to the virtual pub session? Feel free to unmute or type in the chat. Cool. Over and out. Thank you very much.